I remember a few months ago I was going to Wolverhampton, which is like a small city in the UK. I was going there after my final A-level exam.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby!
After months of grinding and studying just to relax, have a chill day out with my friends, you know. And I was taking the tram and it was nice weather, it was sunny outside, and the tram was almost empty. My stop was a couple stops ahead, and I noticed this white geezer standing a couple feet away from me, and he was standing alone. He was on his phone with his friend. He seemed upset and irritated. He was laughing sarcastically on the phone. And just by the look of him, you know, for some reason I thought to myself, yeah, that's a racist guy. That's a racist geezer. Yeah, judging a book by its cover is definitely wrong. And trust me, I learned my lesson, but hear me out. It just based off previous experiences, I guess, and just the information that I saw, I mean the tattoo and everything, I just thought like, oh yeah, that's a racist white guy. He's probably gonna flip me off or something, bro, whatever. And I just sat there, just trying not to think about that and just like enjoying the weather and everything. And a couple minutes later, he comes a bit closer to me and he stands next to the door, the tram door, ready to leave. His stop was coming soon, and he was dressed in Curry's. Curry's is like a retail company here in the UK. He had that uniform on, so he was obviously going to his job in the morning. And then something surprising happened. He started crying. Tears went down his face, and I saw him. I was like, huh? Bro, he was just fine a couple minutes ago. What happened? And then he almost immediately, he just tried to hide his tears. He just wiped his tears like that, just put the sunglasses on. You know, for a man to not be able to hold his sadness in, his emotions in public, something bad must have happened. So I could relate to that guy. I've been there a couple times before, you know, like sometimes it just gets so overwhelming, like things that are happening in your life, they get so overwhelming that you just can't hold back. And he just couldn't hold his emotion. A grown man, something terrible must have happened. And so without any second thought, I just stood up, I went next to him, I stood next to him. It was a bit awkward at first. I was like, hey bro, are you okay? What happened? He looked at me taken aback, like, oh, he didn't expect me to be there, you know? He was like an old lady standing next to him, and he probably didn't even notice me, that the tram was almost empty. He was like, oh yeah, everything's fine, bro, don't worry. And I was like, nah, bro, we're getting this taken care of. I sat down next to him and I motioned to him, bro, come sit down, sit next to me. And he sat down, he didn't resist. That just confirmed that he's going through some tough stuff in life. Like he needs someone to talk to, right? And so I put my arm around him. I'm like, bro, talk to me. What happened? What's going on? He hesitated at first, but then he said to me, me and my missus just split up. I took care of her child, not my own child, her child, for 6 years. And we just split up. Now think about that for a second, right? You take care of a child that is not your own, your partner's, right? For 6 years, you give it the childhood that it needs, you give her the upbringing that it needs, you take care of it, and you give it the love as if it's your own child. Just for that dumbass, ungrateful woman to just split up, and he said she took the child, obviously because it's hers. She took the child and is left with nothing apparently, right? That must be devastating. You know what I said to him? I said two simple things. But before I get into that, let me just emphasize like the intensity of this moment, right? And the intensity of what he's going through. Failures like these, they can be extremely hard to overcome. I've been through such failures, and I'm telling you, it's devastating. You can't focus on anything, let alone your job or your work. It takes away all the focus. You distance yourself from everyone else, from your loved ones, and you become like this depressed, hopeless gremlin being that just locked up in his room and just depressed. Here's the two simple things that I said to him. The first thing that I said to him is, your deeds are with you. Her deeds are with her. Focus on what you did. What you did on your behalf was good. You're only accountable in the eyes of God for what you do. What you did is you took care of that child. You were a good man. You gave her everything that she needed. You gave her a good upbringing. You give her all the morals and values, and now when she grows up and does anything good, the credit goes to you because you were the father figure. Be happy for that and be grateful to God in all situations. Now what she did is between her and God. And now don't worry, because God knows everything. He'll put her to account for what she did, and he'll put you to account for what you've done. Just focus on taking the learning lesson from this. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. You never lose, you only learn. What you learned is the reality of that woman. God saved you from much worse to come, but he gave you enough time, 6 years, to do the good thing that you had to do. He gave you enough time to be the good man that you could have been, and you were. It's all a learning opportunity. Just learn from that, take the good from that, leave the rest, and just move on. Look on to do more good. And the second thing that I said to him is, time will fix everything. This is so important to realize, yet this is the hardest thing to believe in. Especially when the wounds that you have are fresh. It's very, very hard to believe that, oh yeah, I'll be okay, like time will fix everything. But that's the only way that life moves on, and trust me, I've learned this from experience. Eventually, the scars will blend into your skin, the wounds will turn into stories, and the pain will forget your name. You will realize that not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some simply come to clear your path. This is so true. And I've learned this through experience, and pain and trauma and all of that stuff, right? But now your path has been cleared. You were so stressed and so fearful, but now your path to success has been cleared. Now is a perfect opportunity to align your entire life with your purpose, with your goals. Ask yourself this question: why did God put me on this earth? God didn't create anyone without purpose. Think to yourself, ask yourself this question, right? And journal about this for days if you have to, because this will save your life. And I mean it, bro. Ask yourself this: what can I do with my life that when I die, God will look at me and be proud? He'll be proud of me. He'll be proud of what I've done. What things can I do to see God's pleasure? That may be anything. It might be your passion. That might be something that you do with your career, your personal life. I mean, just make that your purpose in life, and then align everything in your life with the answer you get from this question, and then make goals based on that purpose. Once you make goals based off that, make a routine on that. It might take days, weeks, maximum a few months, but you will be consistent with that routine as long as you keep trying. You fall off, you get back onto the routine again. That is persistency. That is how you succeed. You're not going to be perfect, especially not now. Go outside, make some new friends, bro, and then you'll slowly start to realize that, yeah, I'll be okay. Because you will be. Keep trying to focus on the routine and you'll realize that time fixes everything. You got this, man. I believe in you. Take care. Ma'as salam.